Okay, so there was a question on a previous video. The question was from Blue, the Raichu. That's pretty cool. Okay, anyway, so the question was this. We had absolute value of, I'm on a ti-nspire CAS or ti-nspire CAS CX. Either way, it works fine. So I'm going to put in this absolute value function, and this is the one that we had initially, and this is the basis of the question. So the question is, if this is our function, it was minus 4x plus 3, right? So there's the graph of that. Remember, we talked in that first video, if you go back and look at it, it's named exactly the same as this one, except it's the first part of it. So we're going to take the integral of this function from here, from 0 to, oh, actually, we took it from 0 to 4, right? So we can do this a bunch of different ways, but let me show you how we did this here. Using your CAS calculator, the way I would have done this is I would have graphed this so I could get a picture of it. Remember, what happens is that this part right here is the part that's affected by the absolute value, because the absolute value has to be positive, right? So there's us folding this piece up right there. So look at it this way. So all I'm going to do is this really quickly. Stay with me. Don't leave me yet. I'm going to analyze the graph. So I go to Menu, Analyze Graph. I take the integral, because there's only one graph up right now. If you put the little pointer where you want it on the number line, it'll tell you intersection points. So that's 0, and I want it out to 4. Right. So what I did is point on. So 4. So there's that. Now the question that Blue the Raichu had was, what if it was this function? So let's take a look. So he says, or she, whoever that nice person is, says, what if the function is similar to this one but a little bit different? And what if it looks like this instead? What if it's x squared instead of minus 4x? What if it's plus 4x? And then I guess just ask yourself, what effect do you think that's going to have? And then everything else stayed the same, plus 3, and then close absolute value. So before I hit enter, what do you think this function is going to look like? So are you very surprised that it looks like this? So hopefully you're not real surprised that this is a horizontal shift to the left. So my question, I guess one answer back to you would be this. If you took the integral of this green function from 0 to 4, you're going to get a different answer, because look at what the curve's going to look like. It's going to look like this big piece right here, isn't it? It's going to look like that thing way over there. It's going to get pretty huge, I think. But what if you took the integral of that thing this way? What if instead of, how would it be similar if I took the integral from 0 to negative 4 instead of 0 to 4? And then what do you think would happen there? So I'm going to analyze the graph again. I'm going to choose integral. Now this time, look at the bottom. It's going to ask me graph, because I have more than one graph to choose from. I'm going to choose this graph, and then it's going to say, you're going to ask me to bound it. So it's here to here. Are you surprised? Right? Are you surprised at all that that's what happened? But even, what if we did this, just to make this more interesting? What if we took this function, take the same function, but let's take the opposite of the absolute value of the function that you were interested in, and that function was this one, right? And if we hit x squared, yeah, and we had plus 4x plus 3, right? Now, before we go any farther, make sure that you realize this is the change we made here. We took the opposite of this, didn't we? So I hit this. Are you surprised at what that looks like? And what do you think the area under that curve will be? So let's try to figure that out. So let's analyze the graph. Let's take the integral. Remember, it's asking us to choose a graph, so let's choose the blue graph. And it says lower bound. Remember, negative 4 is less than 0, isn't it? It's less than 0. So our lower bound is here, right? And then our upper bound is all the way over to, oh, sorry, there. Any surprise for you why this number is what it is? Right? Could do the same thing here. I hope I'm answering your question. You know what? Give me a comment. Tell me how I did. This is my video response to your question. So certainly, without argument, we can see why the first two are true, can't we? All right. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know, okay, please.